Hello, how are you guys? I know you missed this face. This is a very tired face right now, but that's okay. I wanted to kind of go over LEQ stuff that I saw just in general, and then I think you have another LEQ coming up. Overall, as a class, you guys did pretty well for your first LEQ. I have my monitor sitting right here, so if we hear squeaks, it's because someone's waking up, which it looks like she is. I'm going to keep going. There she is. Okay. Overall, we did a pretty good job with our first LEQ, and so these are kind of things to shape it and mold it to hopefully get you a little bit farther on this if you really struggled on your LEQ. Because basically what happened is we had a group of, most of the class did very well, and then we had some people struggle. So if you were one of the people that struggled, please, after this PowerPoint, if you don't understand something, please email me. And then if email's not enough, then we can even chat on the phone or something. Okay? Okay. My main thing for everybody was they want quality over quantity. You guys, a lot of you try to put as much evidence as you could possibly think of, which is like, in some ways, I'm proud of you for being able to think of that much, but that's not exactly what they want in this essay. So basically, they want just one or two pieces of evidence in your paragraphs. Some of you gave like 7 in a paragraph. But the reason that they want it is because you're kind of going through it really quickly rather than really arguing. And they want to see the argument, not, hey, how many vocab words do you know? And another kind of recommendation is maybe you just do 2 body paragraphs, so you can really argue. That's kind of a time thing. If you can fit in 3 body paragraphs, great. But if not, then I want you to go killer on 2 paragraphs. Okay? So I'm going to pull up your prompt real quick. Alright, so this is what you got. And I just typed it out exactly like you would see on the AP test. And I'm sure you're a little bit confused of why it had 2, 3, and 4. Basically, on the AP test, they'll give you 3 different ones, and you get to pick one. So I just wanted you to see what it would look like. But anyway, okay, evaluate the extent to which the goals of Reconstruction fostered change in the United States before 1900. One of the main things people talked about was, back up. Read the question, okay? Evaluate the extent to which the goals of Reconstructions fostered change. So what are the goals of Reconstruction? The goals were to get the South back into the Union, right? To get black rights. Those are really the main 2 things. Now, some things kind of blossomed off of that, but that was the purpose. That's why it was called to reconstruct the United States. So some of you kind of went off and didn't really answer the prompt. You talked about corruption. Corruption wasn't a goal of Reconstruction, right? So that didn't really relate there. Okay, so let's say that your 2 body paragraphs are black rights and the South back into the Union. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night. You have to forgive me. Okay, let's say those are your 2 body paragraphs. Then you want to pick 1 or 2 vocab words or evidence that you can really answer that with in each paragraph. So let's say black rights, you want to do the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. That's fine to go together because those are similar. But you don't just want to fly through them. Oh, the 13th did this, the 14th did this, the 15th did this. You want to spend your whole paragraph on how that shows change. Okay, let me, this next, here we go. Okay, so quality over quantity. They want argument over how many can you put in your paragraph. Okay? Okay. So once you finally get into your body paragraph and you actually are introducing evidence, let's say it's the 15th Amendment, okay? You want to give a definition, that's fine. You know, the 15th Amendment did this. But then you want to elaborate on that, on how it answers the prompt in like 2-3 sentences. Your paragraph is about that argument. So like, here's my example. Let's say you talk about the 15th Amendment, define it, that's great. Well, how does it answer the prompt? Remember, the prompt is all about how did it change the United States? Well, it dramatically altered the political landscape of the United States. Right now you have a huge group of people that are now being able to vote. And you can argue later, like, well, did they really get to vote right away? No. But in general, the idea behind the 15th Amendment is it dramatically altered the political landscape, right? You see how that's not just a definition? That is going back to the prompt. What else did it do? It gave power to the Republican Party, right, in the North, because you can elaborate on all this, that the freed slaves felt loyalty to the Republican Party for the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment and blah, 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 and how that Republican Party is going to really stay in power for a while. Okay, you could talk about how it took power away from the Southern Democrats, right? And the South used to have so much power, which is part of the reason they went to the Civil War in general. Okay, so that should be like a paragraph right there. If you talk about the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, the Reconstruction Amendments, that's a paragraph that you're elaborating on. You're not just jumping. 13th Amendment gave them emancipation. 14th gave them citizenship. 15th, and move on. Right? That's just defining. That's not what they want. You can define it, but then bring it back and answer that prompt. Okay? Alright. Another area I saw some people struggle still on is the complexity point. So I feel like I've reiterated this a lot. This is one of those things, if you are not getting this, and you specifically have not gotten it all year, you need to email me, okay, if you don't understand this right here. Okay, the 3 types of prompts are similarities and differences, causation, right, what caused this, and continuity and change over time. Okay, so your prompt, it should have been very obvious. Change. There's that word, change. How did it foster change? That is change prompt. Okay? So, in the conclusion, you want to do the opposite. Now, they know you don't have a lot of time, so you don't have to like really create this elaborate conclusion and then pull this in. Baby crying. I'll come back. I have to go feed her in a second. But I wanted to show you this little cute. Yeah, turn that way for the camera. Say hello. Say hello. You're not looking the right way. Right? Say, I'm Bethany. I'm hungry. Okay. Alright. Peace out. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to try and finish this while I'm holding her, so. Here's some squeaks. Okay, so complexity. You've got these 3 types of prompts, and you got to do the opposite, right? So if it's a similarities, you do a differences prompt. If it's a causation, you do effects, cause effect, right? Then if it's what's changed, like this prompt, you do what stays the same. Let's say the prompt was what stayed the same, you would talk about what changed, right? So in your prompt, okay, it's basically saying, how did the goals of Reconstruction change the United States? So you would say, well, how did the goals of Reconstruction, what stayed the same? And although they had a lot of supposedly changes with the amendments, blah, 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 here's some examples. You can talk about racism stayed the same, discrimination stayed the same, Jim Crow laws, literacy, grandfather clause, Plessy versus Ferguson, all those things stay the same. Some people talked about how the North and the South still were very different, and there was a lot of sectionalism still. That's totally fine. That's a good answer as well. Okay, so I'm not, this one, there more people than I thought missed it, and so I don't understand. I thought we kind of talked about this because we had it with the DBQ last semester, and I thought we went over it. So if you're not understanding this, please email me. This one I don't know why, I guess. A lot of people talk about like, what good things happened or what bad things happened. And that's not what it's asking, right? Okay. Answer the prompt. I already talked about this. Answer the prompt. Don't go off on your own tangent if it doesn't answer that. Stay in the time period. I thought some of you got outside the time period, but like for example, Emancipation Proclamation. That would not count because that did not happen in the time period they gave you. The time period started with 1865. And the Emancipation Proclamation is 1863. And I know it's tough sometimes, but just as a reminder. Okay? Alright, if you have more questions on your LEQ, please email me. Yeah. I want you to, I really can. I can text back, I can email back. It might not be within 5 seconds, but I can get back to you. Okay? Another thing is, just in general while I'm gone, just in case you don't know this, okay, yeah, I'm going to show you. Okay, it's Mrs. Marchman. You should know this. Weebly.com. Okay, here's history. Alright, APUS. Here are all my PowerPoints. We're here right now. This is a recommendation if you're kind of struggling while I'm gone. Okay, is open up the PowerPoint. And take notes off of here. And you can either do hand notes or like you can go and type notes down here. It's not letting me do it right now, but you can. Oh, maybe letting. And maybe this will kind of lead you a little bit on what to focus on in the chapter, because obviously there's a lot. But I would do like, okay, intellectual. And then type your notes here and what you find there. This is for people who are right now are struggling with me being gone and need a little bit more help. Because this is the PowerPoint I would do. So it's almost like, okay, well, what would Ms. Marchman say about each one of these? Okay? All right. Good luck, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Can you say bye? Bye. Okay, bye. Can't find it. You can pause me whenever you want to, because I'm just looking for the stop button. I'm gonna find it soon.